If you always wanted to learn slide guitar, let's talk about open G tuning. Hey everybody, Eddie Heinzelman here. Thank you so much for tuning in again. This is volume 4 of my introduction to slide guitar videos. I hope you get a lot out of it. And again, if you haven't seen the first 3, go ahead and check them out here. I'll put the links up. Today we're going to talk about open G tuning. What is open G tuning, you ask? Well, it is on the 6th string, D, on the 5th string, G, on the 4th string, D, 3rd string, G, 2nd string B, and the 1st string is a D. So when you strum all of the strings together, you get an open G chord. Now that bottom 6th string can kind of be a little tricky and a little in the way. That's why Keith Richards, for example, took his 6th string off of his guitar and plays an open G. So we're used to hearing that root on the 5th string. I really love playing an open G, and open G is great for country and country blues style playing. For example, you'll hear players like Leroy Parnell and Bonnie Raitt and Rich Robinson and Charlie Starr all use open G, and it's really fun to play. The other side of it is 3 of the strings are the same as standard tuning. So I find it a little bit easier to jump from standard tuning to open G because you don't have to relearn the entire fretboard. 3 of those strings stay right there where they are, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings right in the center of your guitar. The whole thing about playing slide in open tuning is you get to play a chord with your slide all the way across 1 fret. You have G in the open strings. So C, the 4 chord, out of the key of G, for example, is going to be at the 5th fret. D is going to be at 7. E at 9. And then at 12 it starts over again. Now, the one thing that's really important to learn about slide playing, and you know you're playing a chord all the way across 1 fret, is to know where the roots are, the 3rds and the 5ths of the chord. So again, you've got a lot of redundancy in open G. You've got a D and a G on the 5 and 6 string. So the root is the 5th string, basically, of your chord. 4th string is going to be your 5th. Then the 3rd string is going to be the root again. You're going to have an octave. 3rd string is the B, or the 3rd of the G chord, and then you have another 5. So when you play 3, 2, and 1, you get root, 3rd, and 5th. Now, a real common lick or thing to play in slide guitar, especially in open G, is you're going to slide into one of those chord tones and then out of that chord tone. So for example, you can slide into it, going up to the 3rd and then down to the root. Same thing with the 5th on the 1st string. Another thing is to use the open G string. This is a real common lick where you slide off of the 3rd on the 3rd string and then down to the 5th fret on the 4th string for the G, and you get a double G. You get the open G on the 3rd string and then the root G on the 4th string. You can do that also on the D using the 4th string and the 5th string, but you got to go up another fret. Some really cool songs that I like to play in open G, for example, it's in the key of D, but I like to tune in open G to play that solo. There's a song called Went for a Ride. There's also a lot of the Black Crowes things that you could play. For example, Josephine. I love that song. And the cool thing is it's got an octave in it. So if you're playing an octave, you want to mute that 4th string. And that's a unique place that happens, is you get to play those octaves in an open G tuning. You can also play octaves in open E using the 6th and the 4th string. But again, if you remember in my previous video, I talk about neck radius. Sometimes your 1st string and your 6th string are a little lower than the rest of the strings on your neck due to the curve of the radius. And so sometimes playing that octave on the 6th string and 4th string in open E is a little trickier unless you set up your guitar to be able to do that. So the other thing in open G especially is notice that the chord when you go across, if I'm playing a C, and I've got the 5th right here, when I go up a minor 3rd, that note is on the 1st string is the flat 7. So a lot of times to get a real bluesy sound and get that crunch, if you go up a minor 3rd on the 1st and 2nd string, that will be the 5 and the flat 7. It will not be the 5 and the 1 that you would be used to seeing in standard tuning. So if I want to go up to the 1, I have to go up another fret. But the other thing that's really cool about that is I can go back to a hybrid of standard tuning and get back into this bar chord shape. So I can start off and use the C chord here. I can go up 3 frets on the 1st and 2nd string. And then I can come back right there's the root, as if this was a C chord, because those 3 strings, 4, 3, and 2, are the same as standard tuning. So that also helps a lot of times keep you in line with where you are and moving in and out of positions. If you want more of a rootsy sound and a little bit of a country blues sound, then it's really worth giving open G a shot, because I find it's a lot of fun. And again, even when you're in different keys. So if I'm playing in D, for example, things are going to share a lot of what I just talked about. D, G, and A. And then you have a C chord as your flat 7. So that's open G, and in the next lesson we're going to talk about open E. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, stay tuned.